This is a story called The Little Monsters, Part 8, Not Friends Anymore. It's the school holidays and the kids are all having a ball, playing on a swing and riding their bikes. There's a new skate park that's just opened and the kids have decided to take their bikes home and get their skateboards and roller skates. Then they went to the skate park for a bit. Eventually they decided to go home because it was getting late and they were all hungry. The following day it was raining really heavily, so they went to play at Stumpy's house. After a couple of hours the rain stopped and they all went outside to play. However, Stumpy started being mean and he wouldn't let the kids play with his toys, and no one could understand why. Kicker said to him, "Why can't we play with your toys, Stumpy? You can play with our toys when you come to our houses." "Just get off my toys because I don't want any of you playing with them," said Stumpy. "All right, Stumpy, there's no need to be mean," said Kicker. "They're my toys and if I want to be mean I will," said Stumpy. Kicker looked really hurt and sad and Stumpy said to her, "I'm sorry, Kicker, I didn't mean it. You can play with my toys if you want, all of you." The kids all hugged each other and then they all played with Stumpy's toys until it was time to go home. The next day was a very hot day and the kids decided to go swimming at their local swimming baths. The kids had a ball and when they came out of the pool they went to the skate park for a bit. Once they'd been home to get their skateboards and roller skates. They stayed at the skate park for about an hour, then they all went home. A few days later they were all at the swing when Grumpy started being mean to everyone. Stumpy was on the swing when Grumpy grabbed it and said, "Get off, fatty, it's my turn." Stumpy said, "Why should I? You've had your turn, now it's my turn." "I said get off, fatty," said Grumpy. "No I won't, and stop calling me fatty," said Stumpy. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I guess now you know how we all felt at your house the other day when you were mean to us," said Grumpy. "Yes, I guess so," said Stumpy. The kids continued playing for a bit and then they went home. A few days later it was time for them to go back to school. As always they walked there together. At playtime they played together like they always do, but there was tension in the air. That day on their way home from school they stopped at the swing and played for a bit, then they all went home. A few days later the kids were playing in the school playground when Kicker suggested that they go to the swing until lunchtime was over. Mrs. Applejack overheard them and said they could go as long as they came back before lunchtime was over, and they did. That day after school they all went home, did their homework, had their tea, got changed out of their uniforms and then met up at the swing. They played on the swing for a bit, then they went to the skate park. Whilst at the skate park the kids ended up having a big argument. Kicker said to Stampy, "You're not going next, it's my turn." "No, it's my turn," said Stampy. Then Stumpy said, "Actually guys, it's my turn, so move." Then Creeper said, "It's my turn, not yours guys." Then Bumpy said, "It's my turn and I'm going next." Then the argument ended up in a full-scale fight. Some of the bigger kids had to separate them. The kids then went their separate ways, but Kicker decided that she wasn't finished with the others. She ran up to the boys, kicked them between their legs, causing them to cry out in pain and to fall to their knees with their eyes rolling. Then she went up to the girls and kicked them hard. The next day was Saturday, but all the kids stayed at home instead of meeting up. They never saw each other all that weekend. On the Monday at school, they stayed away from each other. When Mrs. Applejack asked them, "What's going on with you guys? Why are you staying away from each other?" "We're not friends anymore, miss," said Kicker. "That's not like you guys. I thought you were all best friends," said Mrs. Applejack. "We were, miss, but we're not anymore," said Grumpy. For the rest of the week, the kids didn't go near each other or speak to each other. By the end of the week, the kids still weren't friends, and Mrs. Applejack and their parents were hoping they'd make up over the weekend. But sadly, they didn't. All through the next week, they refused to go near each other and to speak to each other. A whole week went by again, and the kids still weren't friends. Mrs. Applejack and their parents tried in vain to get the kids to become friends again, but they were having none of it. Another week went by and the kids still weren't friends. No matter what anyone said, the kids wouldn't make friends, and everyone felt useless. No one knew what to do. The kids had fallen out before, but not for this long. At the end of the third week, the parents got together and had a secret meeting, and they all agreed to take their kids to the same place. However, Kicker heard them talking, and she got her big sister Ellie to go to tell the others. When their parents told them they were going out, they all refused to go. Their parents realised that the kids knew what was going on. On the Monday of the fourth week, the parents got together again whilst the kids were at school. They agreed that they would take their kids to the local play centre, get them together and hopefully get them to be friends again. However, the kids were still having none of it, and their parents knew that they had to do something, but they were at their wits' end. They decided to leave the kids alone to see if they would make friends again without their help, but they didn't. The parents knew that the kids were going to be breaking up from school soon for Christmas, and they loved to play together during the holidays. One day on their way to school, Kicker noticed a little bully who had bullied Stampy before pushing him hard, making him fall over. She went up and told the little bully to leave Stampy alone, but he refused and pushed her over too. Kicker being Kicker, she'd go up and kicked him really, really hard in his goolies. He cried out in pain and fell to his knees with his eyes rolling. Despite this, the kids still hadn't made friends, and they didn't talk to each other for another week. However, on the last day of term, Mrs. Applejack had an idea. She gave the kids an assignment to do, and she made them work together in the hope that they'd become friends again. Thankfully, her plan worked, and by the end of the day, the kids were friends again. Within no time, they were back to their normal selves, getting up to the same old mischief. During the Christmas holidays, the kids played on the swing and went to the new skate park as much as they could. Most of the time it was too cold, so they ended up playing at each other's houses. When the kids went back to school, the little bully started picking on Stampy again, so the gang all got together and surrounded the bully. They didn't hit him, they just pushed him about and told him to leave Stampy alone, or he was going to get hurt. After that, he never went near Stampy again. The kids were all very happy to be friends again. When they did fall out, they soon